Alright, so we're back here with game 2, same team composition for in Japan here, but Russia has switched out Oladishek with Mr. Moan here. So a bit of a switch up there. This is Arena, it's Russia F's home map. So let's see what they bring to the table here. They're probably hungry for some revenge, and on Arena there's no way you get lamed away early on like on the Nomad, so we should be seeing a different kind of game development here. But to talk about the civs here, the Queen with the Malay pocket here has me immediately suspecting some elephant shenanigans here, as the Malay elephants are a lot cheaper. You could mass elephants even in Castle Age, given their 30% discount. But yeah, they have good archers as well. They have potential for a fast imp to go into a power spike with early trebs. They have good monks as well, so fast imp mog trebs could be a play from the Queen here, but I don't really see that happening from pocket. Remains to be seen though. Well, they have fully upgraded archers as well, so they could get to Arbalest early here for an early Imperial Age power spike. On the right hand side we have Mr. Moan here playing as Ethiopians. So with that extra 100 food and gold kicking in for each next age for Ethiopians, you have an easier time going for a smooth cast age and either get the boom going to get to the crazy Ethiopians Imperial Age siege with torsion engines, or to get into your archers masses with the faster firing archers, crossbows, arbalests. Fast castle is more or less the meta on Arena anyway, so that's probably what we're going to see from most of the players here. Finally, for 2KDA in the other flank here, we have Cumans. So Cumans are an interesting civ. They picked a lot on Arena, since they don't usually get stonewalls. They are a bit more safe for the early eco setup, and Cumans can place their second TC, or 1 second TC, in the feudal age already, so that opts for some early head start to the multiple TC boom and gives them a pretty crazy economy in the Castle Age onwards if you are allowed to pull it off. Of course, your Castle Age will be later. You can contest the relics as early with Cumans, and you have to be mindful of the fact that you could get castle dropped or siege and other kinds of pushed from the opposing flank. So let's look at the other team here. Builder through go here with the Vikings. Almost sends me down the line of thinking of slinging here, which could be a play on Arena, but that would usually be the pocket slinging then and slinging the flank. Vikings get siege ram. They are more streamlined. They consider an infantry civilization, but they have access to full upgraded arbalests as well, so you more often than not see Vikings going into arbalest. Then raid with berserkers later on. Their cavalry line is nothing special, so that's not something we're going to see a lot of. Wheelbarrow and handcart kick in instantly for Vikings though, so that provides a serious economic lead in the Castle and Imperial Ages, and for a fantastic boom later on. Pocket position for Champagne here, we have Ganji playing as Teutons. Teutons farms cost 40% less. They have an amazing boom because of that on Arena, and they have some of the best melee units in the game with +1 melee armor added to the units in the Castle Age and the Imperial Age, stacking up on each other, so you'd have +2 melee in the Imperial Age. On Teutons, they have a unique technology for the siege weapons as well, granting the siege weapons extra defense. So we could be seeing Teutons siege onagers into play here for all I know. So remains to be seen. Most likely to see cavalry like knights and paladins though. Finally, for Zara, we have Mongols on the flank here. Mongols versus Ethiopians. So I mean, Mongols a great potential for quicker uptimes as well. Collect to hunt 40% faster, and yeah, have access to the unique unit, the Mangadai from the castles, which is just a crazy with a ranged unit, cavalry archer class with a bonus against siege, and usually their go-to option for the late game. And there's also a bonus for siege weapons for Mongols with the drill, having their siege units move faster. So Mongols siege rams in Imperial Age with drill tech is just ridiculous. You see the siege rams moving so fast, like looks like they're almost twice as fast as the normal ones, which is not quite the case, but could be really powerful for a late game siege push anyway. But now that the introductions are over with, let me fast forward a little bit and see what the players are going for here. See the Cumans player going up to the feudal age first here, closely followed by the Mongols at 24 population up here. Something that could still justify a fast castle for Mongols, because when you push in a deer, they are collected 40% faster, and you don't need to seed as many farms as early to be able to still pull off that fast castle. So I think we're going to see a 25 or 26 pop fast castle from the Mongols player here. Cumans player just about to reach the feudal age here, going up at actually 25 pop here and dropping the blacksmith market. So it's going to be a standard fast castle from Cumans here. Maybe going into a capped ram push here on... oh, maybe we'll see capped ram elephants or something. Who knows? But players are going up. Nevertheless, Mongols player Zara going to the castle age already at roughly the same time as the Cumans here. And some sling here, I can't read this, but some sling is being sent to... To who are we slinging the Cumans player here? Yes. Interesting. So with that sling, it means that the Cuman can drop 2 Siege Workshop right away and start siege pushing the Vikings player, who is still in the feudal age, only 30% castle age yet. Builder Trugo going for the 29 pop castle age here. I think he scouted the workshops though and is on the alert now. Sees the siege workshop going up. Cumans can also start producing rams in the feudal age. So when you get to castle age, you could go straight for capped rams and already have siege ram, rams ready to upgrade. A battering ram of both workshops now, and they might very well break through the walls of the Vikings player here before Builder Frugo can get to the castle age here. There's the castle age for the Cumans player, going to go straight into capped ram and will have at least one capped ram ready to push in here. But this is going to be ridiculously strong against the Vikings flank here, because you can't really fend it off with Vikings and obvious typical infantry and archers civ here. You don't intuitively go into a stable, and Builder Frugo barely even has a stable app yet. Here comes the barracks, but he will have to rely on help from his pocket here with the Teutons player with the stable up, of course. Scout on the forward, but Cumans already producing knights and rams here, and receiving sling to make this possible. It's crazy to see. Mr. Bone here with the blacksmith market, just chilling out in the castle age, dropping another TC, and the I think it's the Malay player providing the sling here, maybe with the fast castle sling. Yes, Malay can go up real fast, so you could go to quicker to the next few ages and start the sling earlier as well. 3 capped rams and 4 knights already pushing. Just look at the army numbers here. 10 military for the Cumans, none whatsoever for the rest of the teams. So I have to remember that one. Okay, so Malay in the feudal age. You can go up quicker with Malay, then extend your economy and start slinging. So that's what happened here. I misunderstood. I thought they were going for the castle age, setting up a stronger eco. But we're indeed through here for the Cumans. Capped ram push is in effect, and even with multiple TCs here and monasteries, there's not much the Viking player can do on his own here. Has a Magnal out, but the Knights will handily deal with that one, and the Vikings Knights, they should just easily die to Cumans numbers here. We're seeing gold and food mainly here for the Malay player, obviously not taking stone, just providing the eco needed to sling the Vikings player here, and we'll be seeing the Vikings player taken more or less completely out of the game here by these efforts here. Loom is in, of course. Builder Turgo is expecting this kind of push and might get one conversion here, but that's going to be about it. We'll be desperate for help from Gunji here, and Gunji only on 1 TC now because he really has to provide army to try and stop the Cumans push here. But slinging Cumans into capped rams and And cavalry here is just crazy. 17 military now for the Cumans player. With capped rams pushing, this is almost borderline abusing game mechanics here, because the fact that Cumans are the only civ that gets capped ram in Castle Age is being used to its full effect here. We have the Mongols player untouched though, and the castle is up here, just providing some military as well, but I think the Mangudai need to go here to try and help out against the push on their flank here. So that essentially frees up the booming potential for Ethiopians as well. Dropping a monster, going to contest their relics here. And due to the sling, we have Mr. 2KD here just constantly producing knights and making use of the capped rams to their full potential here. 2 TCs already down for the Vikings player. Miller Thurgo is down to 26 villagers, and with lots of idols, he is more or less out of the game here. Of course, tries to salvage what he can, and stone walls, quick walls the gold here. That's delaying the inevitable here, because the capped rams would easily just pull down the walls as well. Some Bangadai here, but not nearly enough. The Cumans Knights could contest this. The last TC will go down, and Miller Turgo will lose even more villagers. It's down to 21 villagers now, with more capped rams on the way. Going to... Alright, they're losing 2 villagers here, but look at the numbers. 15 military, 60 military for Cumans here, dominating in the military department here on Arena. No GG. Alright, we're a bit in the salty corner here from 2KD here, or good game, also called. That's actually understandable. This is payback for Mr. 2KD 1v1 after being villager lamed in the previous Nomad game. Here we go with only 5 villagers left for Miller to go here, losing down to 4 now. Has probably relocated those few to the other teammates, trying to salvage what they can here. But Vikings, of course, completely out of the game now, which leaves the 1v1 in the position to push the next opponent. Still with consistent production of capped rams and cavalry here. And they're discussing the previous Nomad game, where there was build fighting on Nomad, something that is frowned upon by many players. But it's not. There's no rule against it. That's why Champagne's team decided to build fight in the previous game and set back 2KD 1v1 by a lot. Army numbers still dominating for the Cumans here. The Teutons have extra defense on the Knights though, due to the Teutons bonus. So before further engagements here, 2KD 1v1 will maybe need to take into that +2 defense as well. 9 against 18 though, it's twice the numbers for the Cumans. Should still win this with only +1 defense, I'd say. Looks like part of a team wall is forming on the left-hand side from Mr. Moan here, collecting the relics as well. 2 relics collected so far, and superior villager lead from Mr. Moan here. Also well on the way to the Imperial Age here with Ethiopians. Mangudai and Knights now pushing back here. We have a bit of a V-boom from Miller Turgo in the south side here as well. Did salvage a few villagers and is now at a whooping 9 population with 1142 KD. And Knights pushing here, and some pause and some talking here. Imperial Age is in for Mr. Moan. The middle production is going down, but that's not going to set back the 1v1 too much. Just brings the army back home. Might be thinking about extending the economy now and setting up for later in the game. Get to Imperial Age, get to Siege Cavalier maybe? Or has done the job to delay the whole other team here to allow Mr. Won't get to Imperial Age, going into massive numbers of archers here, and with mass Ethiopians are the less with full upgrades, the Mangudai of Zara should never be an issue. It's the only player in Imperial Age is Mr. Won here, and that should mean the potential for castles and trebbing down the Mongols' castles for Mangudai production as well. So collected army, almost 30 army, all of the army of blue and green here now going forward with hopes of dealing damage to the Ethiopians. But we see total of 6 rangers here going up for Mr. Mon, who has had the free boom the whole way, might have been slinging a little bit as well, I don't know, we'll see in the stats later on. And now with 18 arbalists, no match for the Castle Age Knights or Mangudai here. Quite a few units lost there from Gunji, and Zara running into the Ethiopians arbalists here, probably missing the scouting intel on whatever the Ethiopian guy was doing. Mangudai masses are at 20 plus here though, so that's something to be a force to be reckoned with. But given the current event with Miller to go with this low score, this is a game that Russia F should have in the bag. The Queen now going Imperial Age as well has been slinging for a while, and with Malay going up even faster here. So we'll now have 2 players at Russia F in the Imperial Age, and 2KD 1v1 just not really doing much else than extend the economy here. 3rd TC going up for the Cumans player now, and going to get some villagers and eco rolling on their own here. So this is the second full sling play game of today, but this time around it's only one player slinging, as opposed to in the 4th division where they tried double slinging the Goths on Lombardia. Imperial Age is in for the Queen as well, and is going to add forced levy to end its swordsman here, most likely because of the massed barracks. Could also be halberdiers for. Alright, so I'm going to go into Malay. Did I get halbs, by the way? I need to double check this. Malay halberdiers against the Teutons mounted units here. So we'll have mass Ethiopians arbalist and Malay player providing halberdiers, and then finally we'll have still have the Cumans knights to disrupt the fights and act as a meat shield against the Mangudai as well. So now with knights in forward here, you'd have the faster firing Ethiopians arbalists behind to pick off Mangudai numbers, while castles will be subject to trebs or bombard cannon fire as well. There's a limit to how long Sarah can keep repairing the castles here. The stone is running thin, and Mangudai numbers are impressive, but we're still only in the castle age here. They need to get close to the bombards to snipe them. Castle stays up, but you don't just easily contest these army numbers here. 69 Ethiopians are list here on the field by now. Look at this firing rate. I mean, it takes a long while to take out buildings anyway, but they're just firing so quickly. And going to contest Miller Thurgo again here. All the appropriate upgrades are in for the Ethiopians. Arbalest here, just picking off villagers like they were not even existing here. Mass pikes coming forward as well, and Halberdier is on the way for the Malay player, getting the appropriate upgrades for attack and defense here as well. I just don't see any way for Champagne to hold off this push given the current scores, the population numbers. Mr. Wong completely pop-capped to KD, just establishing eco at home for the longer run here as needed, and it's only about closing out the game now for Russia F with some trebs to fire in addition to the bombard cannons maybe. Imperial Age well on the way for Zara though, and if you can somehow keep the castles alive and get to Elite Mangadai to have a chance against at least against enemy siege here, but this is so much stone investment going into repairs here, and from the looks of it, Zara is also out of stone here for repairs, so or stone mines rather. So at some point repairs won't be possible anymore. More bomber cannons being added, 2 forward castles, and also halberdiers here to join in the fights. Zara uses the Mangonai mobility to snipe the bombard cannons here, so still keeps the castle up for a little while longer here. But meanwhile we have Ethiopian's Albertist taking some pokes at Gunji the pocket here as well. The second flank is about to be taken out of the game here, and this is going to call for some serious Teuton's hard carry to to get back into it here for Champagne. But I think they're holding on just out of spite here now, having won the first game and being up against a slightly salty Russian team here. They might be just stalling out the game to as a little nudge to the Russian team here after the first game being won by Champagne. Eco surprisingly healthy still for Zara though, because of the Cumans player being far behind after the initial sling push. There won't really be too much military for the Cumans to reckon with here, so the raiding potential is kind of eliminated. This is a slow but very deadly push from Mr. Mona and the Queen here now. Halberdiers as a mid shield, if they can get close enough to the Mangadai, they will be getting some easy kills out as well. Bombard cannons will snipe the trebs, and in due time they will then address the castles as well. And given the current economy situation of Mr. Wone here, I don't think he even minds losing some Arblast in the mix here. Keeps them close to the bombards, of course, but Zara here with 7 on stone has very limited potential to repair the castles. They will be going down now in the end to bombard cannon fire. With the castles out, you could move freely with the halbs and the arbalest forward. Look at all the halberdiers here from the Malay player soaking Magadar fire here, so the arbalest get free firing here. And we're seeing Teuton's elite skirms here. Not nearly enough to contest these huge Ethiopians' faster firing archer masses, but a noble effort to bring some more army to the table nevertheless. Mangadai hitting and running, but we're down to 21 military for Zara now. Finally, the GG is called. The players tap out on the initial sling and push from the Cuman 2K D11 through Malay sling is just insanely strong early on against the Vikings here, who was literally deleted from the game in the early Castle Age by Cumans here. Of course, strong pocket in the Teutons, but because Gunji had to go more quickly into the Knights, the boom never really kicked off for the Teutons here, and was also not in a position to supply enough army to deal with the Ram and Knights push from the Cumans over here. So, incredible strategy right there, working out on Arena for Russia F, their home map. GG, well played, and let's browse through the stats here. Massive KD for Mr. One in the end. That's mainly halberdiers poking at enemy units there, I think. The 2KD 1-1 as well, with fewest units lost and not as many killed, but that was also that initial push with not so much army on the field. Food and wood collected and gold tops for the Malay player here did sling a lot though. This one I mean here. Malay player. 5,900 tribute sent, all of it to the 1v1 here to support an early capped ram and Knights push. Even relics captured for the Ethiopians player here. Of course, all of the map is given away when all of the focus is on the Vikings flank here. So 4 relics up for free for Mr. Moan here. And the timeline is just silly. Cast Ledge for Cumans, getting slung. Bam! Huge army numbers. And diminishing in again after, because they're only knights after all. And then 2KD 1v1 doesn't really have any own eco to support it.